All right, week 5 college football breakdown here. Sticking on Friday night. UTSA heading on the road to Murfreesboro, a team that was in the headlines all week. Middle Tennessee State, a good Conference USA matchup here. Seeing UTSA on the road, still laying 4.5 points, and the total is pretty high as well at 64. I laid the points with UTSA last night. I'm recording this on Thursday. I got this at 4. I would still endorse it at anything really under 6. I'd want to get under that key number. You obviously be able to do that unless this thing just shoots up before kickoff. I don't think it will, though. The reality of it is Middle Tennessee obviously beat Miami last week. Really what they did, Miami went into that game with an arrogant approach. They said, our corners are better than what you have. You're not going to be able to beat us deep. And you know what? Middle Tennessee just continually went to the well and beat them deep. Chase Cunningham, 16 of 25 for 408 yards. You don't see those numbers ever. Over 25 yards per completion, over 16 yards per attempt. Those are stupid numbers that aren't repeatable. I mean, Chase Cunningham is an experienced guy. He has never had a game like that in his life, and he's not going to have a game like that in this one. UTSA is well coached enough to where they're not going to be as arrogant as Miami was. They aren't going to allow that vertical passing game the way that Miami did. And so I think Middle Tennessee is going to have to establish some sort of run game to be able to move the ball offensively. Their leading rusher is at 4.2 yards per carry throughout his career. If you really look deeper, though, I think those numbers are still inflated. I mean, he had a good game against Tennessee State this year, and really in their other games, he's been below average. So I do think UTSA will be able to get stops in this one. You know, their defensive metrics aren't great this year, but I think you have to consider who they've played. I mean, they played Houston. They played at Army, which is a tough offense to prepare for on a 1-week basis. They played at Texas, and they actually did a pretty good job at Texas. Being at the game, I can tell you that they did a pretty good job against us. So I do think UTSA will be able to get stops here. Their offense is the best unit on the field. Might not even be close. I mean, Frank Harris is a fourth-year starter at this point. 7-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio here over the last 2 years. He's really dependable. The one thing about UTSA, they've had some health issues along their offensive line. But with that system, I worry less about that. There's not going to be a lot of slow developing plays in this offense. They get the ball out quick. They've got 3 really good, experienced weapons that, I mean, this is a team that won the Conference USA last year with these weapons, with this quarterback. They're all back this year. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to move the ball. I think it's just a passing system that's proven to work, especially going up against a pretty mediocre defense like Middle Tennessee State that has proven that they can be had in their secondary. I mean, everybody wants to talk about, oh, Middle Tennessee State beat Miami. Obviously we talked about the deep passing game, but also consider this. They forced 3 turnovers on Miami's first 3 drives. Is that going to be repeatable? Frank Harris takes care of the football. I don't think that's going to be repeatable. And also, for as much people want to talk about that game, Middle Tennessee State lost by 37 in their season opener to James Madison. James Madison's first ever FBS game. So I think this line is a little bit reactionary to what we saw last week in Coral Gables. And I get it. Middle Tennessee State deserved to win that game. That was no fluke. I just don't think how they won that game is going to translate to this matchup. You know, I think UTSA is the best team in this conference. And I think we're catching a favorable line here. I mean, the Roadrunners have played a gauntlet of a schedule and they're non-conference. Things are going to get easier for them. And so I think this is a matchup where they do show out. Thought this line was short. 1 unit play for me. I laid the 4 with UTSA and would endorse that at anything up to UTSA -6. Before we get out of here, guys, I know you've been staring at the shirt the whole time. If you're wondering how you can look as cool and sexy as me, let me tell you, proud90.com, unique but very comfortable polos as well. They got t-shirts, hoodies, quarter zips, recently added a ladies line. Proud 90's got all your golf apparel needs. Browse their selection. If you see anything you like at checkout, use code Fordham. It's going to get you 15% off your entire order. Check the description for more information.